How's it going, everybody? Doing a drink review here today, and a video game ramble, which is going to include, I was asked to do a ranking of like Final Fantasy games that I've played, rank them, and favorite and whatnot, rank the ones I've played. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to also rank some other game series as well. I did it briefly in that other video the other day. The other drink, was it another? What was that one? Oh, it was with the Reach, I think, the pickups vid. I had ranked the Halos, so I'll rank the Final Fantasy I've played, and then I will think of some other game series that I've played, multiple games of. But the drink review here is of Baja Laguna Lemonade. I did get another one of these. I had one. I do like it. I'll give it a score, though, for this. And I will pour it in the cup again. This is a good one. I like this one quite a bit more than the other. This is due with a blast of natural and artificial mango lemonade flavor. You do get a good mango taste out of this. It's a nice blend, but it's more so mango-ish. It does taste a little bit like from my recollection, I think I mentioned this in another video, the Maui Burst one, the pineapple one. It tastes a tad similar to that. But I do like this one. In my opinion, it's the better of the two. It has that summery vibe type drink. But it's nice. It has a nice blend of both. A little refreshing as well. It's solid, though. I like this one quite a bit, actually. I'm trying to think back to the ones I had done in Florida. Did they do a few last year too? I know in Florida there was a few that I'd gotten. That was, I want to say 22. The Baja, it was like Baja Gold. Was there some last year too? Like so many they ended up releasing. But this one's a nice one. I'd go an 8 on this one. I do like this one. It's a solid 2. I do like it better than the other one. Was the other one Point Break Punch, starring Keanu Reeves. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna go an 8 on this one. Dump the rest of this in here. I still can't believe 20 years of, I don't know if it started in 23, but it's a Baja Blast originally would have come out in 2003 or 4. It's crazy to think about. Okay. Gum chewing. Video game ramble ranking, some stuff. Start off with what I was asked about Final Fantasy games. So I have to think of now. I might put 1 or 2 in here that I didn't fully complete, but I feel like I got up to the end. like something like Final Fantasy 13, I won't, even though I like that, but I feel like I had some time left in that one. Oddly enough, with Final Fantasies, I don't complete a shit ton of them. But yeah, let's see. We'll start from the bottom and go down to the best. And these are none. I hated none of these games. Like, I enjoyed them all. I'm gonna put 15 at the bottom. And I enjoyed 15. I think 15 ate a lot of shit. I thought it was a solid game. Noctis, Ignis, Gladio, and Prompto, right? They all had good chemistry together as characters. And, you know, you drive around in your car, finding stuff, exploring, doing different shit. It's been a while since I played it. I'm pretty sure I did a review on it. But it has the gameplay like the Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth. It was an enjoyable one. I'm going to say the original Final Fantasy on the NES. I can't remember if I completed it. I remember playing so much of it, though. It was great, the first one in the series. Just being able to do all that stuff, and you had a big game world. It came with a map and everything. And you're exploring and do all stuff. It's kind of funny that Stranger of Paradise is like a prequel to the original. I'm pretty sure you play as... The character you use is Garland in Final Fantasy, who ends up being like the main bit. You fight him early in the original Final Fantasy. He's like the first boss fight, and then I think you meet up with him again or some shit. At the time, that game was so cool, just traveling around, doing stuff. You get what was it, just, was it White Mage, Black Mage, Warrior, it was Monk one, I forget all the things, they didn't have names then. But it's the same thing, traveling towns, getting different equipment, walking across the overworld, getting into fights constantly, boss battles. So I'll put that one there. See, I can't number them. I'll have to number them after because I'm trying to think of all the ones I've played. Have I really only played like 6 or 7? 7, I think. I've talked about this game a million times. I still have my pre-order poster. I adore Final Fantasy X too. But if I'm grading it in terms of the games, I'm not just going to put it in number 1 because I love it that much. I'm going to put it, the next one is going to be Final Fantasy X 2. A phenomenal game. You only used Riku, Pain, and Yuna. Pain was new to this one. And this one had the dress kind of system, the garment system, or whatever. You would change clothes and then you'd have different abilities and stuff, outfits. It was such a different game from 10. 10 was more, 10 had its little lighthearted moments and funny stuff, but it was overall just like kind of a sad, kind of depressing game, right? 10 too was just like, Yuna's a pop star, it's a poppy song, she's dual wielding guns. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people did not. The soundtrack's fantastic too. One of the better Final Fantasy soundtracks. That was a fantastic game. And the characters are likable. I mean, Yuna and Riku are from the original, from 10 and then 10 2. And you meet up with the other characters, Baku and was it Lulu, I think, are married in this one, and they have a kid. Did you come across Kamari as well? I don't know. There is a secret ending if you do specific things that Titus or Titus, however you want to call him, appears again. Who else am I missing? Oron wouldn't have been there, but come on. Maybe that was all of them. Excellent game, though. Next one, I'm going to put Final Fantasy 4 or 2 as it was released here. Originally it was 2 on the Super Nintendo, but it was 4 in Japan, and then when they released it, finally released the other ones, it was officially 4 everywhere, not just in Japan. Another great game, the upgrade from the first, at least for, at that point, I think that that was the 4th one there, so they were used to seeing. Actually, no, the first 3 I think were actually all on the NES there, so the graphical upgrade would have still jumped for them from 3 to 4, 1 to 2 for us. Another great game. Is that the one with? Oh man, is Cecil the one that's in 2? I can't remember the names of them. Kane, I don't know. A bunch of unique characters though, and once again, it's the same thing as the original, but it looks better. Great overall game. I think it's the one where you end up on the moon. You're like inside a whale, or it's like a whale ship, and you're on the moon. Admittedly, I can't remember a ton of it, but that one's gonna go there. The final 3, Final Fantasy X, is gonna slot in at the number 3 spot. So okay, now I know the 2 before this. So 7 would be 15, 6 would be the original Final Fantasy, 5 would be 10-2, 4 is Final Fantasy 2, 4, whatever you want to call it. Did I forget any other ones though? I did play some Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, but it's stuff like Crystal Chronicles and stuff, but they're different kind of games, so I don't really want to include them, even though I didn't play them fully anyway. Like I have like 10 Type 0 HD, and I played a good amount of 12, but not a ton of it. I played like 9 or 10 hours of Final Fantasy 9. I've never played any of 8. Like I said, I only played a little bit of the original 7. But at number 3 is Final Fantasy X. Fantastic game. When I first saw this game on the PS2, my mind was blown at how good it looked graphically, and it still holds up. I know the HD versions, which look good, but that game still holds up graphically, in my opinion. And all the characters are cool. Titus, Yuna, Auron's cool. Wagu, Lulu, Gamari. I'm trying to think of Riku. I think it's just 7 of them. And the opening of the game is sick. It has that heavy, what's it called, Otherworld, freaking rock and metal tune. Titus is playing Blitzball, and Sin just comes and just wrecks shit, like he's ruining everybody's good time. And obviously, the twist in this game, I'll talk about it at the end. Well, I'll say it, Titus and Auron are dead. Or they didn't exist. Is that what it was? Like they were like spirits? I forget what the word is that they used there, and they were like turned into something and then they're sent back. I forget the full thing. Or is he just dead and that's what he became? I forget. Don't kill me. The combat's fun. It's classic turn-based stuff. All the classic stuff there. You have the summons and shit. You got some good enemies in there on top of Sin, which is Jecht, Titus' dad. Yeah, so they were alive, right? Like I said, I can't remember them. There's the far plane in this one. Yuna's the summoner. And it's funny when they go to the place, they go to the far plane. Riku doesn't because she's part of the, I forget what her people are called. She is related. I think she's cousins with Yuna. Besaid? No. What were they called? Besaid is, I think, a place. One of the places you go to. I forget their names. But Auron doesn't go in either because he's already dead or whatever, so he can't go there. Blitzball is this one as a side thing. You can play it whenever you want, I think, after a certain point or whatever. But you do have to, you're required to play the one. Eight out of 10 on this Laguna Lemonade. looks great. You go to a lot of cool places. There's little puzzle things too. When you go to like the temples, are they the temples? You're visiting with Yuna, or they call them something else. I forget. But you do little kind of puzzles in each one. Just a cool game. The guy who voices Titus also voices Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank. Although he would have done Titus first, I believe. Cool ass game, like, especially because that was the graphical jump now from 9, 7, 8, 9, and you were just like, what? And it's fairly long, you know. Was the Machina in this one? Yeah, because it's like the people who love the Machina and the people who are more like religious and stuff. That plays into the story as well, because that's what, like, Riku's, I forget their fucking name, but they're more, I think, into the Machina and stuff like that. Like I said, I can't remember everything. It was a cool game, though. Cool boss fights, as always, and great music again. And they have, what was the guy's name? He's another good... Sin's a cool boss and overall enemy, but the other guy's in there, too. That's trying to, like, get Yuna to, like, marry him. What the fuck was his name? He has the cool kind of summon or whatever that's, like... I forget what it's called. It's, like, chained up, and it does, like, a one hit on you. What was his name? Oh, Seymour. It makes it seem like he's kind of good at first, but he's not. That's a good one. We'll put that one at 3. Now 2 is I'm combining the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth together. That was a loud car. Sounded like it was fucking letting out a fart. I'm going to combine the two. I'm not going to count them as single games because it's a continuation, you know. That's going to be number 2. Maybe it will move to number 1 after the third part. I've talked about Rebirth and the remake, especially Rebirth. I did a gameplay review on it. Incredible games. Rebirth is amazing. The combat system's different. It's not turn-based anymore. You're running around. You have your meters that fill up. All the stuff I said in the other videos, right? Big open, big world to explore in Rebirth. The remake, you're just in Midgard. And it's still cool, but it's like, oh my god, okay, here we go. We're in the open world now, going to different regions and stuff. Bunch of side quests to do. Got Queen's Blood, all that good stuff. Phenomenal game. All the characters are likable. Obviously, they're in both of them. Although, Yuffie and Kate Sith appear in this one, and Sid as well. You don't use him. And Vincent Valentine, you don't use him either, but fun characters, good banter between everybody and stuff. Just both great games. Like I said, I'm not diving deep into both of them, but I'm going to combine them because they're the same. It's just a continuation. I'm not going to say, put this one here and that one there. It's just awesome. Obviously, you can go back to my review of Rebirth and stuff. But number 1 still to me is Final Fantasy VI, or when it was released here, Final Fantasy III. That game at the time was just insane because it improved upon 2, 4. And this one, similar to 10, has the magic, which I think was like outlawed, or they were using the magic on the magic text stuff. It's very steampunky. Final Fantasy VI, 3. Cool tech characters again. Kefka is still my favorite bad guy in the Final Fantasies I've played. He literally halfway through the game, like, he destroys the world. Do you remember the thing goes down? I think one of the guys sacrifices himself. What was his name? He's the ninja dude. There's a lot of characters in this one. I can't even remember the names. So there's Sid, of course, again. There's the 2 twins, I think. I don't know if Cecil and Kane, I thought they were in 2 or 4. 6. Was Terra was in 6? I forget their Rosa, I believe, is in 6. I guess I can't remember the names fully. Shadow might have been the ninja dude. And there's the gambler dude who has the airship. Once you get the airship going around, you get the mode 7 and stuff. I forget his name. There's a bunch of people actually in this game. But like I said, halfway through the game, Kefka like destroys the world. Like, it gets destroyed, and like the people are still worshiping him, but others are afraid of him, and he doesn't give a shit. He'll kill them all. He doesn't care. He's laughing. He's a lunatic. He doesn't care if you worship or not. He wants to pretty much be the only person, essentially. But he actually does wipe it out, and it's like, I don't know how long it is after it happens. Like a mid-game thing. And then the game world changes and it's all ruined and shit. So that was kind of cool and unexpected. And there's sacrifices to be made. That's the one with the ghost train, I think, right? 6 is classic. The Opera House as well, you fight that little octopus dude. A lot of classic moments in that one. And the Kefka boss fight's insane. It's still my favorite one. I just love that game. Like, I need to play through it again because I have it on. Is it on the anthology? One of the PlayStation games, or if I have that little thing put into the PlayStation Mini. Just a phenomenal game. All right, so that's number 1. 2 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth remake. So we got 6 or 3 at 1. Remake Rebirth combination 2. 10 at 3. Final Fantasy 4 or 2 at 4. 5 was 10-2. 6 was the original Final Fantasy, and 7 was 15. I don't think I played any other ones like extensively. But yeah, that's those. Let's see if I can think of another series. I talked about Halo briefly. I ranked them kind of too, but I'm not gonna do those. I think I could do the Far Cry's, and I'm not gonna go nuts in depth. I did a ramble on the Far Cry series. I don't know if that was a request or not, but I remember doing it. Now, how many Far Cry's have I played? 2, 3, 4, 5. I played a little bit of 6. I can't get into 6 for some reason. I played those 4. I played a lot of Primal, but I did not beat it. And I played some of the original. But the original, it's night and day like the original, and then the other ones become like open-y and shit. But if I just look at 2, 3, 4, and 5, those 4 that I played, if I'm ranking those 4, my favorite Far Cry still is Far Cry 2. I love Far Cry 2. It doesn't have the over-the-top villains in 2. 2 is the one where like your guns would jam or they would break in mid-battle. They brought it back in 6, or did they bring it back in 5, where when you got really hurt, you would break a finger, put it back in place, pull a bullet out of his arm with like a pair of pliers, use burn a wound, clothes, and shit like that. You would do in 2 when you were really hurt. I love the game world of 2. It was split into 2 things. It takes place in like an African country. It's split into 2 areas, and you start the game in the one, and then you end up in the second one. Like, it goes bad at the end of the first half. Like, just you hang out at like a little bar, getting information. Because you can pick between like 5 or 6 mercenary types that you can use, and you have is it malaria, and you have to take pills. Like every once in a while, you have to like find pills for it. It's story based. I love the environment. This one, you're using the little GPS to find jewels. You're driving trucks and stuff like that. The combat's fun. That's the one where you can light stuff on fire, and the grass will go on fire and shit. Use boats as well. I just love the story of this one because what was the Jackal was like the main bad guy, and you're like working with him kind of. And then the end of the game is the Jackal's pretty much like he admits like, I'm fucked up. I sold arms to both these groups. We want to take them both out. That was the goal, right? And then he kills himself, and your guy has to kill himself too. You can do it either way. Like whatever you choose, he'll do the other thing. I think once like a explosion, that boulders all fall down. I can't remember what the other one was. But he was not an over-the-top villain, and I really liked it. It was more grounded. 3 was really good, but Voss is a bit over the top, but not. He wasn't hokey. But I think I would put 4 at my second favorite one, because 4 had the guy, I forget the bad guy's name, but he was kind of more extravagant of a bad guy, but he wasn't over the top, and 4 did this better than 5. 4, actually, there's a thing in 4 where if you do a certain thing, or you go back with the bad guy, the game will end, like you get the end kind of thing. If you play the full game, I think you could do that like right in the beginning of the game, and the game will end. But you're kind of like, not knowingly, but it's like you're kind of like, oh shit, I was helping a bunch of scumbags in Far Cry 4. Like the guy tells you like, yeah, I'm fucked up. But these people, like, you look at what they're actually doing and stuff, the groups and shit like that, and you find out they're fucked up as well. Because I think you're related to the bad guy. I don't know if you're like a sibling or what it is, I think maybe, right? But if you go back with him, he shows you like he gives you like your mother's ashes or some shit. So he admits like, I'm not a great person, but like the people you're working for are scumbags. 4 did that well, and all the game worlds are great in the Far Cry's. I would put 3 as number 3. That was the one where it's like you're partying with your group of friends, and then you get grabbed. Your character and the friends are come off as such unlikable assholes in the beginning, and then your guy becomes a little more likable. But then it's like, okay, he knows how to use all types of artillery and guns and stuff. But the game world, once again, is cool. I think the tigers and stuff they introduce in 3, right? Voss was cool, but he wasn't even the main bad guy. He dies, like, you kill him, like, halfway through, or maybe 3/4 through. He wasn't a bad character. Like, he was nuts, but he wasn't, like, hokey, like, in 5. 5 is, and I loved 5. Listen, 5 has honestly, the best out of the game worlds from all 4. The game world in 5 is amazing. I think it's Montana to take place in. But they try to make it seem like you're fucked up in 5, and it does not work like it did in 4. And the main bad guy, in my opinion, and was it the main bad guy in the first one? They're all siblings. And they all each have a bunker, right? It's like a doomsday type thing. And spoilers, shit happens at the end, right? I think it's like North Korea or something actually launches a bunch of weapons. But they try to make it seem like you're fucked up, even though this guy's cold, pretty much. Has taking people's lands and like pulling skin off of people and marking all the fucked up shit they do, but they're trying to like convince. It's like, get the hell out of here, okay? And the main bad guy and the first one you take out, the first sibling, are so fucking hokey, in my opinion. The sister and the other brother, who I think was a war veteran, they're much better. The sister was more the psychedelic shit. And I remember, like, you go into her area and I think she drugs you or some shit, but they were much better. I like those two. And the game world's fantastic, and the gameplay is still excellent. I just thought the main bad guy and the first brother, because he was the movie type one or something, they were so just cheesy and hokey. And them trying to convince you, like, oh, you're fucked up. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, really. They did it so much better in 4. Like, at least it was more like, well, you're just working for people that screwed up. You didn't, like, question or whatever. But once again, I enjoyed 5. And Primal, for what I played from it, was sick. It was totally different. It takes place in caveman times. You're getting pissed on. It's fucking, all types of crazy shit. You have Saber-Tooth Tiger as a freaking buddy. You're beating people to death with clubs and shit. It was a completely different kind of game. I need to get that again, because that is a really cool game. But yeah, that's ranking the Far Cry's briefly, quickly. Let's see if I can think of one other quick game series. Like I said, I did Halos already. Any other shooters? I'd almost say Lego games, but they're so the same, and I think some of them, they've improved over the years, but a lot of the originals were very close to the same thing. It was just different properties. So it was more like, what properties did you really like? And you're going to get more fun out of them. Like, if you really like Star Wars, you're going to enjoy it. Stuff like that. If you really like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones. What other, let me try the GTAs. How many GTAs have I played? I did not complete 1 or 2. I remember playing. They're top-down games, completely different. The first 2 GTAs. It's very similar things, but completely different kind of gameplay. Let's go 3 Vice City, 4, and 5. I played some Liberty City Stories on the PSP, but not enough of it. If I'm going from 3, Vice City, 4, and 5, Vice City's my favorite one. I just loved Vice City. Ray Liotta as Tommy Vercetti. The other guy, what was his name? From Philip something. Right, from Miami Vice is the bad guy. He's your friend at first, but he's the bad guy. And then I think Dennis Hopper was a voice in there. A bunch of known people were voices in there. Vice City was so great, and it added stuff from 3, there's more things to do. You could buy up some property, I believe, in Vice City. I just love the game world. The soundtrack, 80s, incredible. You know, such a good game, Vice City. You know, I love 5, and I'm probably going to put it at 2, but 4 is, you could argue 4 is actually a better game. But 5 improved upon 4. 5 was cool because you used 3. Trevor, Franklin, and Michael use different characters, and then when you go to them, they're doing something weird. You know, usually Trevor was doing something weird. And all of them except 4 have the really just ridiculous type of humor. Like, 4 is the most serious of them. But 5 was, I almost want to put 4 ahead of it. It's almost a tie. But 5 did a lot of cool stuff, and Los Santos and what else, the other parts of it, I forget. It was a huge map. It was fun, different, varied environments and stuff. There was a ton to do. A lot of cool missions and heists. You did the heists, right, in 5, which was cool. And all the characters were fun. Franklin, Trevor, and Michael, they all had unique personalities and shit. And then the ending was weird because, like, you can make a choice. Like, if you can kill Michael with Trevor, or you can kill Trevor with Michael, do this shit. And it made no sense to do it that way unless you're trying to get achievements, because you're working for, like, a scumbag FBI agent. I think at some point, like, I'm taking him out because he talks, oh, you do this. And I think you end up taking out, with different characters, you end up taking out different people. But I'm like, none of these characters in my eyes would turn on each other. So I did it the normal way, where they just take out the other people. One was like a mob boss or something. The other was the FBI type guy, or wherever he worked for. There might have been one other person, I don't know. But it was a great game. But 4, the thing about 4 is it was serious. It takes place in Liberty City again, which is just New York City. Vice City's Miami, and Los Santos, and whatever else. What do they call the other parts? It's just Los Angeles and, like, San Francisco and shit like that. But 4 it still had some of the goofy, weird, you know, and they all have great soundtracks, right? And the radio stations with people being weird and shit, but 4 was very serious compared to the other ones. Like, Nico comes from, I forget where he came from. It was like Serbia or something like that. He's there with his cousin, and it's just more like there's jokey stuff in there, but not nearly as much as the other games. And he's really like, he doesn't want anything to happen to Roman, his cousin. You know, I'm not leaving here without Roman. That's why there's choices you make in this game. You have buddies that will help you out. There's Packy, Jacob, Dwayne, Playboy X, Brucey. How can I forget Brucey? I think there's 5 of them. You have a choice, though, between a couple of points in this game to who you want to kill, and it was Playboy X and Dwayne. I ended up choosing, I killed Playboy X. I remember I was fighting him in his, like, penthouse type thing, and I just lofted a grenade outside, and it's just like mission accomplished, and then I got his thing. You have different perks for each one. But Dwayne's very boo-hoo. He's, like, complaining about something, and Nico's like, I watched all my friends die in the war, and he's like, oh. Jacob and Packy, there's no choice for Brucey, and they all have different abilities. Like with Dwayne, if you call him, he'll have some friends help you out. Packy would give you car bombs, I believe. Brucey was the helicopter. What was Jacob? Did he give you guns? I think his name was Jacob. And there's another choice you have between 2 brothers. One's like a drug addict, and the other one's like a piece of shit cop. And that was an easy choice. I was like, are you kidding me? I think they're both hanging out on a bench. You gotta snipe one of them. I was like, that guy was a dick. All the character, Brucey was probably the goofiest in that game in terms of, like, the comedy type stuff. But they were all good side characters, you know. But it's more of a serious thing. I think at the end you're riding a dope dirt bike right into a helicopter or some shit. It's been a long time since I played 4. And when that came out, you were just like, holy shit, once again, the step up in graphics, you were just like, wow. And then I put 3 last, and 3 has the most significance as a game. When I first saw it personally, I remember my friend's brother had it. It was probably right after it came out in 2001. When in his basement, he's playing it. You just like, and you were hearing about this game. I saw it. I was like, are you kidding me? Everybody's getting a turn playing it. just grabbing whatever you can and just causing as much problem. Not even doing the story stuff, just causing problems, getting chased by the cops and shit, getting killed, being like, ah, fuck, come. It was so different and crazy at the time. You were just like, holy shit. And they always have good voice acting. They usually get a lot of known actors. Although I don't know if 4 did. Like in terms of like they might just had voice actors and not like actors who came into and did some voice acting. I mean, you had, yeah, because 2 had a bunch of, Vice City had a bunch of obviously actors, known actors in it. And so did 3 did too. Michael Madsen was in 3, I think. Joe Pantaleone was in 3, and other known people. And then I don't know if 5, I guess, didn't do a lot of known actors either. But 3 for significance, when you first saw, like, it changed the game. Like 3 changed the game, right? It was a game-changing game, or what would they call it? I don't know what the word would be. But it was just so, like, you were just like, here we go, this is sick 3D action here. Because the first 2 GTAs were top-down. And you're just like, oh my god, you just go wherever you want in this area, and you're just causing problems, and all that shit. For impact, it had the biggest impact. GTA 3, in my opinion. Especially if you were alive when it came out, and old enough to play it. You were like, holy shit, because when came out 01, I would have been 22 when it came out. But yeah, I'll do that as a last ranking, once I can quickly burn through another one. I don't know. I can rank the Silent Hills. I played enough to Homecoming to know it's my least favorite one. I hate that fucking game. I don't hate that game truly, but it pisses me off and annoys the shit out of me. It's the weakest of the Silent Hills. And I probably have to put Downpour, and I like Downpour. Downpour is actually kind of underrated in my opinion. That'd be the second one. That'd be number, let's see, 4. I played 5 and 6. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite. I've talked about Silent Hill 2 at length. It's my favorite game ever. Awesome game, best game, video game story ever. Great enemies, just everything works in that game. I hope the remake of it is at least solid. Just don't make it an action bullshit thing. Because that was the thing about the Silent Hills. The people you use are not Chris Redfields, not Leon S. Kennedys. They're just regular people. You have the teenager in 3, Heather. That's a continuation of 1. What's it, Harry? In 1, James Sunderland in 2. Henry Townsend in 4. I forget the guy's name in Downpour. In Homecoming, the guy was a soldier, I believe. That's why they added more combat to that one, even though the combat sucked. Downpour, you were a prisoner or something. I think it starts when the prison bus breaks down or flips over. So Silent Hill 2 is my favorite. Silent Hill 4 is my second favorite. And then probably 3, and then the original. They're very close. Well, 4 gets a lot of shit too. I don't know why. 4 has the second best story behind it too. Even though 4 wasn't supposed to be a Final Fantasy Silent Hill game, but they've just made it one instead. The games always have unique enemies. Oh wait, yeah, those 4 would be the first 4. Silent Hill 2 is my favorite. Followed up with 4, then 3, then the original. I liked Origins on the PSP. I thought it was cool. And then Shattered Memories, which was also solid and different. If you played it on I played most of it on the PSP. I did play some of it on the Wii. What's it called? Shattered Memories, right? It's a prequel. It's a reimagining of the original Silent Hill. It's completely like different gameplay and stuff. You're getting chased a lot. It like shit turns to ice and stuff. But it was solid. And then Downpour and Homecoming. Homecoming is one of those games where I was like, it had the feel of Silent Hill Down, but it was playing off the movie because it's the one that came out like a year or 2 after the movie came out. So Pyramid Head's back for some reason, here comes Pyramid Head. He has no business being in there. That's like my one nerd stupid gripe about shit, is he is specific to 2. He came from James's brain. He does not belong anywhere else. He didn't belong in the movie. He didn't belong in Silent Hill Homecoming. In Origins, there was like a Pyramid Head wannabe, but he wasn't Pyramid Head. Origins is a prequel to the original. But I like that one. But the first four are like the ones, like they were all made by Team Silent. And those are the best ones, in my opinion. But the only one I truly don't really like at all is Homecoming. I played some of that one on the Vita, but it was like a dungeon crawler. I forget what the hell it was even called. I thought I'm not going to put that in there. And then I'm not even going to count Short Message because it was too short. But that was actually really, I like that game. People are shitting on that too. I liked it. I actually was like, oh shit. But yeah, that's just a drink review of a Laguna Lemonade Baja. Laguna Lemonade Mountain Dew, 8 out of 10, solid. And just a video game ramble with ranking. I was asked to rank the Final Fantasies that I played, and then I threw in some other rankings as well.